TRS is connecting with our retirees in order to provide information to you about things that may have changed since the time that you retired. We review all of your information and get everything up to date at that time. But over the years, some things may have changed, and you may look to tweak how we provide information or who you have listed in what place, those types of things. The topic that this will cover is who can talk to TRS about my account. TRS has a policy of providing specific information about your TRS account only to you. When we say specific information, we mean things like how much your pension is, how much your raises are, who is listed as a beneficiary, address, that type of thing. So information that is specific to you can be provided only to you. Your spouse, your children, your close friends, they cannot ask questions about your account unless you are in an appointment with them or on the phone with them and you tell us that it's okay to provide the information. This even includes situations where you and your spouse are both TRS members. We will still only provide information to the spouse that we are actually talking to. So what if you would like things to be a little bit more flexible than that? Well, there are 3 different ways to make that happen. One is to provide a confidential information release form, or a power of attorney, a POA, or a guardianship. A confidential information release form is a form that's completed and requires a handwritten signature, and it is from our TRS member, and it specifies that information can be provided to another person. So we are able to provide the information, but that person is not allowed to make any changes at all. They can just collect the information and pass it along to you. The procedure to do this is to complete the confidential information release form and either mail it or, better yet, upload it to your TRS account. What we do is review that, scan it, and save it to your account, and then we put a note on the very opening page of your TRS account. So if this other person happened to call TRS, we would verify who they were, and then we would be able to provide just the information that you said that we could give to someone else. This is what that form would look like. It's called a confidential information release authorization. And you see the first part here is the information about you. You can put your Social Security number in here, but you also could use your member ID and then your address, email, that type of thing. The second part is who you would like us to give the information to. And we will look for a relationship here. It could be your spouse. Maybe it could be one of your children. It could be a financial advisor. Sometimes it would be an attorney. So whoever it is that you want us to give information to, you would complete the information on them. The next section on this form tells us what information can be released. Sometimes it's fine if we provide any information at all that is on your TRS account, other than what is prohibited by HIPAA, but anything else. Sometimes, if you're in the midst of a divorce or you are divorced, we could provide only the information relative to your divorce to the person that you designate. Often that would be an attorney. Or you could note that you want us to provide any information other than 1 or 2 particular things. So you will let us know what information can be released. There are a couple different options for how long this would remain in effect. If, for example, you want this in place because you're having some type of medical treatment and you need somebody else to be able to talk to us, maybe it's only going to be for a specified period of time. And if that's the case, you could fill in a date here, and we will provide this information only until that time. But it also could be a situation where you want it indefinitely, often with a spouse or a child. You want to just have this in place and leave it there indefinitely so that we can provide information to them. Any form that we have along this line is going to require a handwritten signature. So this is the bottom of the form. You're going to need to sign and date it. And then, as I mentioned, either mail it or upload it to your TRS account. The next level of this type of thing would be maybe a power of attorney. And this would be a situation where you are not entirely able to manage your personal affairs. So you may have a power of attorney appointed. So in order to make any changes on the TRS account, the power of attorney has to be in place for property and financial affairs. There's a couple different types of powers of attorney. It could be just property and financial affairs. It could be just healthcare, or it could be both. We are specifically looking for property or financial affairs in order to be able to provide information here. In this situation, both the POA and you can amend your file if you sign the request for a change. This would be unless a physician has indicated that you're incapacitated. But when you have a POA in place, it doesn't mean that you cannot make any changes. It just means that the POA can also make changes on your behalf if needed. So you do still have some control over your account in this situation. You or the POA could get information and make changes. In order to put this in place, we need the complete power of attorney document for property and financial affairs. And along with that, we need a completed POA or guardianship demographic form. Those should be sent in together to TRS. If you have health insurance in place with TRS, either TRIP or TRAIL, the primary address on your TRS record does need to be your street address. Health insurance and the types of programs available are based on where you live. So your street address needs to remain as the primary address on your account. But there is a separate tab on your account when there is a POA in place, and all of their information would be in there. So we will know both your address and the address of the POA if it is different than yours. You can provide written notification to remove a POA from your file. So you do, again, still maintain control here, but this is the ability to allow that POA to make changes in addition to you being able to make changes. So this is that guardian or power of attorney demographic form I mentioned. In this one, again, your information is going to be at the top, so you'll list your name, address, and various ways to reach you, phone and email. And then the second part of it will be the power of attorney demographic information. So they will complete all of this and provide ways to get in touch with them as well. Now you see here that there are a couple options for where the correspondence is going to go. Anything that we mail, paper mail, it could go to your residential address, and we will always have that available. Or it could go to the POA, whichever is the way that's easiest to manage things is the one that you would check. And then either you, the TRS member, or the POA is going to sign the form and date it. And this form, along with the POA document itself, will be sent together to TRS. The most restrictive type of permission to provide information or make changes would be a guardianship. A guardian is a court-appointed person that would act on your behalf if you are unable to make decisions for yourself. In this situation, you are not able to send in a written request to remove a guardian. We would require a court document to do that. And also you cannot amend your record, even with a written request. This is a situation where it has been deemed that the best thing for you is to have someone else managing your affairs for you. So the guardian is the one that will handle all of that. In order to process this, we need the complete proof of guardianship document, which is going to be a court order, a court document, and we will need that same POA guardianship demographic form that we just reviewed. It's the same form for either a POA or a guardian so that we know where the contact information would be. Again, if you have health insurance, you're still going to have your residential address, wherever you are living, is still going to be the primary address on your TRS record, but that separate tab in your account will be there that will show that we have a guardian, and it will show what their address is as well. So in this case, again, we are going to require a court document if you did not want to have the guardian in place. It does have to be a court order in order to remove this. If you have any questions about any of these things that we've talked about, you can give TRS a call, 7:30 to 4:30 at our toll-free number. You also can send an email to us. Sometimes people will put all this information together and scan it and then send it via email. And you can do that, but be careful about what information may be included in those documents. Email is not necessarily a secure method of transmitting private information. The best way to do it is to upload it to your TRS account or mail it to TRS, or certainly we can provide a fax number if you have someone completing this information and it's best to fax it to us. That can be done too. This YouTube channel that is showing up here will have this particular information along with a number of other things that we've recorded, things like death benefits and survivor benefits, information about changing your taxes, the W-4P form or your 1099-R, and also information about our health insurance programs, TRIP and TRAIL. So as we build different topics that we like to cover with our retirees, you can find those recordings on our YouTube channel. So we hope you have found this information helpful, and thank you for listening.